So we have a current event. So this week, it was published that Social Security Trust was going to run out 1 year um, sooner than expected. So 2034 instead of 2035. So what does it mean when Social Security's trust runs out of money? And should I be concerned about my Social Security, or what is that going to happen to me?
Yeah, obviously, we actually got this question quite a few times this week because the headlines came out. I guess last year, because of the pandemic, Social Security collected less. And of course, people are still retired and still, out there collecting Social Security. So the trust, the Social Security trust, which was supposed to run out in 2035, might run out now in 2034. But let me describe some things just so you can kind of understand exactly what that means. There's a lot of misunderstandings of how Social Security works. So essentially, Social Security is a situation where money comes in from people like us that are working and then gets paid out to people that are retired. Between 62 and 70, you can start taking it and you can take it for the rest of your life, assuming you qualify for it. So, what has happened over the last many decades is there's more money coming in than going out. And they've actually been accumulating money. And that accumulation has been happening inside of this trust. So when they say the trust is going to run out, that doesn't mean Social Security is going to run out. And that's a huge differential. Because if you look at the projections from the Social Security Department, even in, when things do kind of fall back down, there's still 80% of the money coming in that needs to be, paid out to satisfy all the requirements that are in the current group of Social Security recipients and the projected group of Social Security recipients. And so it is not that Social Security is going broke, it's that this trust is running down. And so that's a super important component. So really, worst case scenario, the trust goes down, they do nothing, they still have 80% of the money to pay out. I think for the next 90 years, the projection I saw from the Social Security Department. Again, it depends on lots of different things. But here's the key thing. One of the things to understand, and I've gone to a lot of classes on Social Security, Social Security has been going out of business since the 40s. If you look at article after article, it must be just fantastic, readership on these things because people are nervous about Social Security. They're worried about Social Security. So you put out an article, say it's going to go broke, and people read it. That's been happening since the 40s. And so it hasn't gone out of business. Matter of fact, the trust has more money as of now than it ever had. So, it's quite easy to actually fix Social Security in the end. Politically, it's tough. But the way that they've done it in the past is what I think will happen in the future. So if you look, my father got his Social Security, he could get his what they call the full retirement benefit, full retirement age, sorry, was 65. And so now, no matter when he took it, it was 65, and that's an important component. For me, it's 67, right? And so what they did was that in order to make Social Security work better and have more money, and it's worked because there's more money in that trust, they just moved the retirement age, the full retirement age, out 2 years. They've made some adjustments to the cost of living increase, so it's not quite as good as it used to be, but still there. But that's how they do it. And so really, it's pretty simple. Once that trust really starts to run out of money, there will be a lot more headlines, a lot more angst, and somebody will step up and make a change. And so I would expect that younger people their full retirement age might be older, 68 or 69. And maybe the cost of living increase gets adjusted even more for them. Historically, they have never messed with current Social Security recipients, ever. They've always got kind of the deal that they've got, other than you can make an argument that the cost of living increase has been slightly adjusted. But in terms of their payment, it has continued. And also historically, people that are very close to retirement don't have any change either. So if you're kind of 55 to 65 range, I've never seen that change either. So this is really, the idea is we're going to take younger people and make adjustments as far as that goes. And so, whether younger people get the same retirement age, full retirement age, the same COLA is probably up for grabs. But that's my outlook, because one of the things that does happen is that fear of Social Security going broke clouds people's decisions on when they should take it. and oftentimes makes them think that they need to take it right away, even though that could be quite detrimental if they live long enough. So you got to be able to kind of really understand what's happening with Social Security and how it works, and understand that, politically they can't let it fail. And, it's a lot of money, but the government has a lot of money. So this is something that could be fixed. And there's all kinds of other solutions that they can look at, but just looking at the basics, I think this is something that can be fixed pretty easily, and I think it will.
Yeah, it's good to know that I'm getting a little bit of the short end of the stick with that
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, I've read some articles for people kind of your age, Ethan, where so my father was 65 for full retirement. I'm 67. I'm a few years older than you, but you might be 69 to get to full retirement age. Now, it doesn't mean you can't take it at 62, and that will be the impact. That means you'll actually get less. If I take it at 62, I'm going to get less on a percentage basis than my father was going to get because he was only 3 years away from full retirement age. I'm 5 years away. You might be 7 years away from full retirement age. So taking it early will be even more detrimental than waiting. But people are living longer. They're working longer. As far as that goes. So, who knows? I mean, my plan is to work till age 75. So it doesn't really matter to me. I don't plan on taking Social Security until 70 unless I have to, unless something weird happens as far as that goes. But that might be true for you too. So it still kind of works out. Theoretically, if you're waiting till 70, you could end up in the same boat. Well, no, that's not true. They're given that 8% per year growth every year after your full retirement age, plus the cost of living increase. So for me, that's only 3 more years that I get to make that growth. For my father, it's 5 more years. So he could get even more at 70. For you, it's going to be 1 more year. It won't be that big of a deal. So anyway, so there are some ramifications, obviously, to that. And you might get less out of that. But theoretically, you're at a point in your life where you are young enough to kind of know that. And that is one of the things they keep talking about. If we're going to make adjustments, let's make sure that the people that are younger know what's coming, so they can save more in their 401k or IRAs or whatever, to kind of make up for that. Surveys show that most younger people aren't expecting to get any Social Security. They're going to get some Social Security, but maybe that's a good thought process. It makes you save more. Nothing wrong with that.